It's fair to say that in 48 years, almost, in Seattle, we've met thousands and thousands of people. We've interacted with them in meaningful ways. When you're part of their life cycle events, when you're there because they're getting married or they're getting divorced, or their loved one has just died, or they're just giving birth, the bar mitzvah, the events, the happy times, the horrific times that people sometimes have to go through. It gives us the opportunity to make a difference in people's lives. And we've had that opportunity over nearly 5 decades.
Rabbi Mirel performed my Barit Milah.
He did my bar mitzvah.
Conducting my bris.
He married us.
He bat mitzvahed me.
He taught me at Hebrew High.
My baby naming and bat mitzvah.
Rabbi bar mitzvahed me in 1974.
Married me.
My bat mitzvah, my wedding, my kids' baby naming.
Jim married us in 1976.
He did my daughter's bat mitzvah in Israel.
And our wedding.
Julie and Jim did my baby naming.
Did my kids' baby namings.
Our 3 children's b'nai mitzvah.
And Julie sang as well.
He'll be marrying us later this year.
We first came to Seattle in June of 1974. We drove across the country from Cincinnati, Ohio, where we were both going to school. I'd just been ordained as a rabbi, and I was called to serve at Temple Deher Sinai. We were excited about it, and when we got here, we found a welcoming community.
We were just married a year when we arrived in Seattle, and I was completely surprised by the beauty of the place, and the mountains just knocked me out. I had never seen a mountain close up, and my first response was, "You mean we get to live there?"
Over the years, people have asked me dozens of times, why did you become a rabbi? How did you decide to become a rabbi? And I wish I had something really profound to say about that. I've always been involved in the Jewish community from day of birth on. When you get to a certain point in life, you think, what is my calling? What would I like to be doing for the rest of my life? When I really thought about it, I said, really, I think being a rabbi is the right thing for me. It fits with my personality, it fits with my beliefs, it fits with who I am. And I hope I made a good choice. When I came here, I didn't really have a specific set of goals about what I wanted to accomplish. I just wanted to do a good job. I wanted to be successful. I wanted to be liked by everybody, which is not possible, of course, but you try. And my life has always been live each day, one day at a time.
I was very inspired by Jim because he's one of those rare people that gives it all and works hard, and he had a passion for interfaith, interreligious, interethnic work. And because of his work in the community and being a spiritual leader, really he was very pivotal to all of AJC programs in that area. And we forged a relationship that really was probably one of the most important working relationships I've ever had in my life.
While my life as a rabbi took up a great deal of my time, I also felt it was important to be active in the general Jewish community just as a member of that community. So volunteering at the Jewish Family Service, the Klein Gallant Home, and getting involved with important organizations like the American Jewish Committee as a Jew, as a person, not just as a rabbi. Because the American Jewish Committee has been, from its very beginning, a beacon for the Jewish community in a very special way. And it was someplace where we could live out our Jewish values, both from a political and an ethical point of view.
The first really important thing that I was involved with, we led a trip to Israel through AJC. It was a magical and transformative trip. It was at a politically fraught time, and AJC was in the middle of what was going on in Israel. The AJC Jerusalem office was very much involved with trying to create peaceful bridges between Jews and Palestinians. And on a Friday afternoon, about 3 p.m., we were driving. We went around a bend, and there was Jerusalem bathed in golden light. And I was singing Yerushalayim Shel Zahav and burst into tears. Couldn't believe that moment. That was, I think, one of the most transformative, magical, meaningful moments of my life, and I have AJC to thank for that, because were it not for AJC, I don't know that we would have gone then. I don't know if many things that have followed since would have happened.
I do not know of any other rabbi's wife who has been so supportive and helpful in her husband's rabbinical duties other than Julie. They are a team. I've known the Mirels forever, and I can say with confidence, longer than anyone here, other than Julie, of course, and to know them is to love them. Thank you, Rabbi Jim, for your spiritual sermons, and Julie for your beautiful music, and for making our community so much richer. Thank you.
My life has been extremely fulfilling on so many different levels, and I think being part of a family, of course, is the central part of our lives. Being a son, a brother, a husband, a partner, and then, of course, raising children, and with the help of God, we are also now raising grandchildren. So that's the number one thing. But in terms of my Jewish journey, it's being with people in times of need and trying to help them, whether it be a simcha, a joyous occasion, or a time of stress or sadness, just trying to be with people and letting them feel that they're not alone. And that's who I try to be in my life. A day doesn't go by without a phone call or an email of somebody in need, and if I possibly can, I always try to say yes.
I'm halfway across the world in London for my annual retreat. I'm out of uniform and not exactly dressed for the occasion, but I'm not going to let that stop me from taking part. Ever since that Seder meal in your home so many years ago, I've known that we were kindred spirits, fellow pilgrims along the journey of faith, the journey to God. And what a blessed journey it has been. I have been immeasurably enriched by our friendship, and my faith has been enriched beyond words by your faith, your goodness, your incredible kindness. But more important by far than anything you have done for me personally is what you have done for our community. Yours have always been the voices of humanity, mutual understanding, justice and peace. To quote the song, in you, justice and peace have kissed. We are a better community by far thanks to you, a community that reflects the God who is justice and peace and love. Thank you for everything, and congratulations.
Being in the midst of people creating bridges between different communities and different neighborhoods and different religions, and that's been the most fulfilling of all. And it would be hard for me to talk about a specific moment, but there have been moments when I knew that God was present in the room, where we were making music and making joy and happiness. The most meaningful moments come from other humans recognizing possibilities, that they can go places they didn't know they could. They could be friendly with people they didn't know they could, but being able to transcend our own boundaries and our own limitations in a good way, to create a world of people who believe differently, but who are all family. are all mishpacha, and sometimes families fight. And sometimes families get it wrong and are dysfunctional. But the fact is, we all have the same blood, and we bleed the same way. And those are the most meaningful, most precious moments.
Yasher Koach to Jim and Julie Mirel. They have been such staples of our Seattle Jewish community and our community more broadly here. When I first came here, Jim had already been the longest serving colleague in the area, and he so wonderfully welcomed me and bound me to memories of my father, who was an older colleague of his. And I really feel such an incredible sense of warmth and gratitude to both Jim and Julie for being such exemplary mentors and examples of rabbinic life and a rabbinic family life of integrity and purpose and inspiration. And so I am just so grateful to be here and to wish them all the best on this well-deserved, wonderful honor.
The most precious things that I have in terms of possessions are little notes and letters that people have written to me after a wedding or a bar mitzvah or a funeral, and expressing, sometimes in a very simple way, that they were grateful that I was there and that I did something or I said something that made a difference. And those are the most precious things that I have in my life. So I keep them, and I go back and look at them, and then I remind myself, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing.
I had no idea what a Jewish community could be, and that the lines between groups are completely artificial. That when you connect heart to heart, you're people, and you have the same loves, the same fears, the same illnesses, the same hopes and aspirations. It's just been the richest tapestry that anyone could ever ask for. And the Seattle Jewish community has been so kind and so loving to us over most of these many, many years. And it's a gift. It's just a gift.